This is Mark Johnson, your fitness ambassador for Bounce Pep and the youngest son of Bill Johnson. Please hit the like button and please hit the bell so that you receive notifications when we release a new video. I'm going to talk to you today about something I haven't spoken about much before. It's time under tension and isometric contractions, and why this is a great way for you to work out, especially if you want to just try something different, add a little spice, add a little variability to what you're typically accustomed to doing. So for the past month and a half, I have been doing nothing but time under tension exercises. For me, what that sounds like is typically I'll select the muscle group that I'm going to work on for the day. You probably do something similar. And then I'll do several exercises focused on that muscle group. Again, you probably do something similar. But when I'm doing a time under tension workout, every single exercise that I'm doing, I'm adding time under tension to every single rep. And the whole idea is to add isometric contractions to each rep, or an isometric contraction to each rep. And you probably know what an isometric contraction is, but if you don't, let me just put it very simply. It is when you essentially suspend a weight in place and you just hold it there without moving. That's, in a nutshell, what an isometric contraction is. So, for instance, if I'm doing time under tension with pull-ups, what I'll do is I'll pull myself up, and then right here, when I'm right at the top, I hold it for 3 seconds. That is my isometric contraction. And then I'll go all the way back down. That completes the rep. Then I'll start a new rep. Again, right here, 3-second isometric contraction, hold it. That's gonna require stamina, endurance, okay? And then of course, lower myself again, all the way down, okay? So you just basically do a set of that. Whatever exercise that you're doing, you can add this type of isometric contraction, i.e. time under tension, to that exercise. The thing is, you're probably going to have to reduce the amount of weight. You're not going to be able to max out on weight if you're doing isometric contractions, because when you're holding the weight, you're not going to be able to hold up the maximum amount of weight that you're accustomed to lifting for several seconds. It's just not going to happen. So you're probably going to have to reduce the weight a little bit. And then you're probably also going to have to reduce the number of reps that you do. I have found that to be the case for myself. And I'm pretty sure that if you're doing a similar type of workout, you're going to have to do both of those things. Obviously, again, because with weight, when you're just suspending, holding it in place, your muscle is getting fatigued while you hold it. So that's going to create a lot of stress on that muscle, and you're not going to do 15 reps. If you're accustomed to doing 15 reps, you may only be able to get 5 or maybe 7 reps, okay? And as well, again, I mentioned the weight, reduce the weight, because you cannot max out on weight if you're doing isometric contractions. So just keep that in mind when you go into it, that when you're doing time under tension, you're not going to be able to max out on weight, and you're probably going to have to reduce the number of reps that you do. Now, when you're doing this type of a workout, it's not necessarily to build additional strength. You're not going to establish a new max or anything with isometric contractions, because it's really just not the nature of the type of contraction that it is. So just keep that in mind. What you're doing with time under tension is you're increasing the endurance of the muscle. And a lot of times people use isometric contractions when they're rehabbing, for instance. If they don't have like a great range of motion, maybe they have an injury and their range of motion is limited, then instead of trying to do a whole range of motion, which they can't do anyway, they'll do an isometric contraction and basically do a workout like that. Now, me personally, I'm not injured. I'm fine. I'm in good health. I'm 100%. In Japanese, we say zekkocho. That's me, zekkocho. I'm firing on all cylinders. However, I have found that these time under tension workouts do provide sort of a different sensation, and that's why I've really come to enjoy them. They really provide a different sensation. The next day, you will definitely feel it. In whatever muscle group you worked out, you are going to feel it. I mean, believe me, that muscle soreness is going to be there. I'm someone who likes muscle soreness, so that's a great feeling for me. I can't speak for you, but what I will tell you is you will feel it the next day. So go ahead, add some time under tension workouts, okay? And remember that idea of the isometric contraction. So if you're doing a lat raise, for instance, instead of just doing like this continuously, no, what you're doing is you bring it up and you hold it there. If you want to hold it there for 3 seconds or 4 seconds or 5 seconds, that's up to you. You decide how the length that you're going to hold it there. But that is the isometric contraction. Hold it, bring it back down, complete the rep. Do another one, hold it, that's your isometric contraction. Bring it down, complete the rep. Okay, so you can do that for almost any exercise. I tried to do it for squats, and I found that it was maybe not so well suited for squats because I was trying to actually go down. If you do the isometric contraction when you're all the way down, there's no effect. So what I was trying to do is go all the way down and then start coming up a little bit and then stop myself somewhere in that movement when I was coming up and just hold the contraction there. And I found that it felt a little dangerous actually. So I did that once and then I decided, well, I'm not gonna try this again with squats. But for most other exercises, I have found that you can add an isometric contraction safely, comfortably. And again, it's just gonna provide a different sensation. It's gonna hit those muscles kind of in a different way. It's gonna force them to show some stamina, okay? So if you haven't tried it, go ahead and give it a try. And I guarantee you, you will like the results. All right, everybody, take care.